All right, so today we are going to be doing a lab using nuts and bolts to express the concept of limiting reactants. So a couple of really important things that I want you to keep in mind. When you get in your partners, you guys are going to be working in groups of 3 to 4. And in each group, you are going to get a little baggie of nuts and bolts. The one thing you want to make sure of is that in your bag, you start with 10 bolts. Okay, these are the long ones with the, it looks like a screw. And you have 16 hex nuts. Okay, 16 of these little guys. Make sure you have enough. There are extras up at the front of the room. Then you want to make sure you balance each reaction in your lab. You balance them the same way you would balance any normal chemical reaction. Then for the first two questions on your lab, you're going to want to get you have to get a signature. Just making sure that you got both of the first two correct and you explained everything appropriately. So make sure you get those checked. Then I want to show you a little bit about how to bond your compounds. So if you have a compound that is BN, similar to the first one in your lab that you'll see, you're going to take one bolt and one nut, and you are going to make sure that they are completely bonded by turning the hex nut so that it is physically attached to your bolt. Okay. For the first two, unless you fully are spinning the hex nut onto the bolt, you're not going to get credit for completing your lab. So that being said, it gets a little bit tricky because there are some that have two bolts. So what you have to do is put the two bolts right up to each other, kind of butt to butt, and you are going to spin the hex nut so that it's half on one bolt and half on the other bolt. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world, but if you mess with it long enough and kind of play around with it, you should be able to get them to connect like this. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I should be able to hold this up like this, and you should be able to then unscrew it, and then they will separate. Unless they are screwed together, it does not count as being bonded. Okay, so this would be a BN, a B2N. Your ultimate goal for each of these questions, there's 5 questions, you want to create as many of the product as you can until you run out. And that's where the concept of limiting reactants come in. And that's pretty much all I've got for you. So have fun and go and make some compounds.